So this is very an interesting situation because I think this one kind of like threw you for a loop. You didn't think this was going to happen, did you? Did you think that they were going to live together peacefully and get along, and that the men were serious in what they said? Hello and welcome back to Grace.Filled. I'm excited to be with you for another video. Today we are in day 23 of Seeking His Face, where we are diving into Genesis 32 through 34. So I am going to read these. I'm going to do a quick prayer. I'm no historian, I'm no scholar. I don't know how to pronounce all these names and words and say all the things. I am a busy mommy of 5 that works and does all the things. And I just point that out to say that you're not too busy for God. You're not too busy for the Most High. You're not too busy to make time for the one who's done so much for you and whose breath it is even in your lungs. And I want to be an encouragement to you that if I can do it, you can do it. Sports mama, all the things, right? But we can do things, and we make a priority for what we want to make a priority for. Jonathan sings a song that I love, and it says, I'll make room for you. I love it. And so we are seeking his face because we're saying the posture of our heart is we want to make room for him. We want to make room to get to know him better, to learn more of him, more of his ways. So let's start by just jumping straight into Genesis 32. Jacob went on his way, and the angels of God met him. And when Jacob saw them, he said, this is God's camp. So he called the name of that place Mahanaim. And Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau, his brother, in the land of Seir, the country of Edom, instructing them, thus you shall say to my lord Esau, thus says your servant Jacob, I have sojourned with Laban and stayed until now. I have oxen, donkey, flocks, male servants, and female servants. I have sent to tell my lord in order that I might find favor in your sight. And the messengers returned to Jacob, saying, we came to your brother Esau, and he's coming to meet you, and there are 400 men with him. Then Jacob was greatly afraid and distressed. He divided the people who were with him and the flocks and the herd and the camels into 2 camps, thinking, if Esau comes to one camp and attacks it, then the other camp that is left will escape. And Jacob said, O God of my father Abraham, and God of my father Isaac, O Lord, who said to me, return to your country and to your kindred, that I might do you good. I am not worthy of the least of all the deeds and steadfast love and all thy faithfulness you have shown to your servant. For with only my staff I crossed the Jordan, and now I have become 2 camps. Please deliver me from the hands of my brother, from the hands of Esau, for I fear him that he might come and attack me, the mothers with the children. But you said, I will surely do you good and make your offspring spring as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for multitude. Let's just stop right there for a second. Remember when I talked to you guys maybe 1 or 2 days ago? And what did I say? I said up until this point, he was not his God. We have a shift that has taken place here. And now it's his God. He's calling upon him. And he's saying to him, remember that dream. And he's learning how to put listen, some of us need to do that today. Lord, you say it at your word, right? Because that's what he's doing. And it is so beautiful. And then the thing is, he knows how to come. I'm not even worthy. What? I'm not even worthy. Please deliver me. And the next thing I just want to say real quick, we'll keep moving, is be honest with God, because he already know anyway. He says, I fear him because he might come and attack me. But at your word, I'm trusting you. Does anybody have fear, anxiety, stress, worry, temptation? Does anybody have anything like that in their life? And they're just like, you know what? This is how I feel. But Lord, I trust you. Whose report am I going to I'm going to believe your report. I know there's 400 men coming towards me. This doesn't really look good. It doesn't really sound good. It seems like it's about to go down. It seems like it's about to be some altercations happening. Because I didn't trick my brother and I done did him dirty. And now looks like he's about to come and get me. But you gave me a dream. You spoke something to me. You spoke something over my life. So I'm trying to hold on to what your word says. So he stayed there that night. And from what he had with him, he took a present for his brother Esau. 200 female goats, 20 male goats, 200 ewes and 20 rams, 30 milking camels and their calves, 40 cows, 10 bulls, 20 female donkeys, 10 male donkeys. These he handed over to his servants. Every drove by itself and said to a servant, pass on ahead of me and put a space between drove and drove. He instructed the first, when Esau, my brother, meets you and asks, to whom do you belong? Where are you going? And who are these ahead of you? Then you shall say, these belong to your servant Jacob. They are a present sent to my lord Esau. And moreover, he is behind us. He likewise instructed the second and the third, and all who follow the droves. You shall say the same thing to Esau when you find him. And you shall say, moreover, your servant Jacob is behind us. For he thought I might appease him with the presents that go ahead before me, and afterward I should see his face. Perhaps he will accept me. So the present passed on ahead of him, and he himself stayed that night in the camp. The same night he arose and took his 2 wives, his 2 female servants, and his 11 children, and crossed the ford of the Jabbok. He took them and sent them across the stream and everything else he had, and Jacob was left alone. And a man wrestled with him until the breaking of day. When the man saw that he did not prevail against Jacob, he touched his hip socket, and Jacob's hip was put out of joint as he wrestled with him. Then he said, go from me, for this day has broken. But Jacob said, I will not let you go until you bless me. And he said to him, what is your name? Listen, are there any people that's like, listen, I'm not letting you go till you bless me. I'm not letting you go till you bless me, because you asking me my name, but you know my name because you're all knowing, you're almighty. I'm not letting you go. And he said to him, what is your name? And he said, Jacob. Then he said, your name shall no longer be called Jacob, but Israel. For you have striven with God and with man, and have prevailed. Then Jacob asked him, please tell me your name. But he said, why is it that you may ask? And there he blessed him. So Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, saying, for I have seen God face to face, and yet my life has been delivered. The sun rose up upon him as he passed Peniel, limping because of his hip. Therefore to this day the people of Israel do not eat in the sinew of the thigh that is on the hip socket, because he touched the socket of Jacob's hip and the sinew of the thigh. It's something when you are determined that he's going to bless you and you don't let him go. Not only do you have his attention, not only does he change your name, but he also blesses you. It's just beautiful. I just love this. I'm going to save the rest of the stuff for the live. And because I need to sleep. So next up, we are at Genesis 33. I hope that you guys are enjoying this. I hope that you have put on your fuzzy socks and got your water and tea and blankets and whatever you need. I have on my fuzzy socks, and I do have some hot tea over there. I'm not going to be doing any editing this video, but I am here and I'm excited to be here. All right, so let's get into 33. Genesis 33. Now Jacob lifted his eyes and looked, and there Esau was coming, and with him were 400 men. So he divided the children among Leah, Rachel, and 2 maidservants. And he put the maidservants and their children in front, Leah and her children behind, and Rachel and Joseph last. Then he crossed over before them and bowed himself to the ground 7 times until he came near his brother. But Esau ran to meet him and embraced him and fell on his neck and kissed him and wept. And he lifted his eyes and saw the women and children and said, "Who are these with you?" So he said, "The children whom God has graciously given your servant." Then the maidservants came near, and all the children bowed down. And Leah also came near with her children, and they bowed down. After Joseph and Rachel came near, and they bowed down. Then Esau said, "What do you mean by all this company which I meet?" He said, "These are to find favor in the sight of my Lord." But Esau said, "I have enough, my brother. Keep what you have for yourself." And Joseph said, "No, please. If I have now found favor in your sight, then receive my present from my hand. And as much as I have seen your face and thought I have seen the face of God, you are pleased with me. Please take my blessing that is brought to you, because God has dealt graciously with me, because I have enough." So he urged him, and he took it. Then Esau said, "Let us take our journey, let us go. I will go before you." But Jacob said to him, "My Lord knows that the children are weak, and the flocks and the herd which are nursing are with me. And if the men should drive them hard one day, all the flock will die. Please let my Lord go on before his servant. I will lead on slowly at a pace at which the livestock may go before me, and the children are able to endure until I come to my Lord and Sneer." And Esau said, "Now let me leave you with some of the people who are with me." But he said, "What need is there? Let me find favor in the sight of my Lord." So Esau returned that day on his way to Seir, and Jacob sojourned to Succoth, but built himself a house and made booths for his livestock. Therefore the name of the place is called Succoth. Jacob comes to Canaan. Then Jacob came safely to the city of Shemin, which is in the land of Canaan. When he came from Padan-aram, and he pitched his tent before the city, and he brought the parcel of land where he had pitched his tent from the children of Hamor, Shemi's father, for 100 pieces of money. And then he erected an altar there and called it Elohe Israel. Genesis 34. Now Dinah, the daughter Leah had bore to Jacob, went out to visit the women of the land. When Shimeon, son of Hamor the Hivite, the ruler of that area, saw her, he took her and raped her. His heart was drawn to Dinah, daughter of Jacob. He loved the young woman and spoke tenderly to her. And Shimeon said to his father Hamor, "Get me this girl as my wife." When Jacob heard that his daughter Dinah had been defiled, his sons were in the field with his livestock. So he did nothing about it until they came home. Then Shemi's father Hamor went out to talk with Jacob. Meanwhile, Jacob's sons had came in from the field as soon as they heard what happened. They were shocked and furious because Shemi had done an outrageous thing in Israel by sleeping with Jacob's daughter, a thing that should not be done. But Hamor said to them, "My son Shemi has his heart set on your daughter. Please give her to him as a wife. And to marry with us, give us your daughters and take our daughters for yourselves. You can settle among us, and the land is open to you. Live in it, trade in it, and acquire property in it." Then Shemi said to Dinah's father and brothers, "Let me find favor in your eyes, and I will give whatever you ask. Make the price for the bride and the gift that I am to bring as great as you like, and I'll pay whatever you ask me. Only give me the young woman as my wife." Because their sister Dinah had been defiled, Jacob's sons replied deceitfully as they spoke to him and his father. They said to them, "We cannot do such thing. We cannot give our sister to a man who is not circumcised. That will be a disgrace to us. We will enter into an agreement with you on one condition only, that you become like us by circumcising all of your males. Then we will give you our daughters and take your daughters for ourselves. We'll settle amongst you and become one people with you. But if you will not agree to be circumcised, we'll take our sister and go." Their proposal seemed good to Hamor and his father. The young man, who was the most honored of all of his father's family, lost no time in doing what they had said, because they were delighted with Jacob's daughter. So Hamor and his son Shemi went to the gate of the city to speak to the men of their city. These men are friendly toward us, they said. Let them live in our land and trade in it. The land has plenty of room for them. We can marry their daughters and they can marry ours. But the men will agree to live with us only as one people if the condition is met that our males are circumcised as they themselves are. Won't their livestock, their property, and all the other animals become ours? So let us agree to the terms and they will settle amongst us. So all the men who went out of the city gate agreed with Harmon and his son Shemim, and every male of the city was circumcised. 3 days later, while all of them was still in pain, two of Jacob's sons, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brothers, took their swords and attacked the unsuspecting city, killing every male. They put Hamor and his son Shemit to the sword and took Dinah from Shemi's house, and they left. The sons of Jacob came upon the dead bodies and looted the city where their sister had been defiled. They seized their flock, their herds, their donkeys, and everything else of theirs in the city and out in the field. They carried off all their wealth and all their women and children, taking as plunder everything in the houses. Then Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, "You have brought trouble on me by making me obnoxious to the Canaanites and the Perizzites, the people living in this land. We are few in number, and if they join force against me and attack me, I and my household will be destroyed." But they replied, "Should he have treated our sister like a prostitute?" So this is very an interesting situation because I think this one kind of like threw you for a loop. You didn't think this was going to happen, did you? Did you think that they were going to live together peacefully and get along, and that the men were serious in what they said? Or were you expecting them to trick the guys and when they're down, really get them and kill all the males and take all the women, children, and artifacts? Was that what you were thinking was going to happen? That's very interesting. This has just been like a really good couple of chapters. It makes you think about a lot of different things. I love seeing how Jacob was humbled with the situation with Esau. I love how Jacob has come face to face, with God. He's building altars. He's becoming honest. I just love that. I love that we see Jacob moving in a positive direction. And I think it's really important that we move in positive directions in our life, that no matter the trickery, no matter how wrong, no matter our crimes, no matter how we feel, there is redemption, right? The Lord does give us redemption, and I think my prayer for you on today is just that the Lord's redemption comes nigh to you, because our Redeemer lives, and I love how this God that I hear about can become this God that's personal to me, that can become a friend to me, right? That I can have a unique experience and relationship for myself, not based upon what someone said, what someone heard, but he has become real with me. And not only that, but he's changing my name, he's changing my life, he's changing all the things about me. So I love this. I love this. There's so many things that I want to say, but it is so late, so I've got to make my way to bed. But Father, I just thank you for this time and space that you just allowed your sons and daughters to just be here one more time, to just get to know more about you, more about your word, more about these stories of our relatives in the past and the things that they did that they should have done, like get closer to you and wrestle with you and trust you and surrender to you, and the things that they should not have done and the things they did without consulting to you. Help us be reminded of who you are, of your awesomeness, and also help us to remember that you are watching. May we bring you glory and honor in what we say and what we do. May you be pleased with our walking, with our talk. Father, I am praying for those that are affected by the plane crashes that are happening. I'm praying for those who are affected by the fires. I'm praying for those who are still affected by the snow and the ice. I'm praying now for those that are impacted by the rain that we're having. I'm praying for people's mental, emotional, physical, spiritual state to be well. There's a lot of worry and concern and fear and doubt, and people are having anxiety. People are having anxiety attacks. People are scared. People are nervous. And Father, I just pray your peace. There is a lot happening all over. There's a lot happening with our children and grandchildren and nieces and nephews. And I just pray, Lord, that you would just continue to show your face, that you would continue to help us. Help us with things that are challenging us and causing us issues and causing us to take our eyes off you. Because we know when we keep our eyes off on you, we walk on the water, but when we take our eyes off you, we begin to sink. Help us not sink, but help us to be faithful, dedicated, and committed no matter what. May we make time for you. May we make room for you. Room for you in our hearts and our minds and our souls and our spirits. May we just continue to love on you. We thank you for who and what you are, for what you've done, for what you're doing. We're praying for the orphans, the widows. We're praying for the poor. We're praying for the broken and contrite. We're praying for those that are sick. And we're just decreeing and declaring your healing and your peace around the earth. We just thank you. We love you. We give you glory, honor, and praise. In Yeshua's name we pray, amen. So, never out of words, am out of time. I am excited to dive deeper, prayerfully, into this word here, and just to review all the things that we have learned. I pray that you guys are able to get some rest and some sleep. Praying that you are having enough nutrition and water and rest. Is like in a world that tells us to go, 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 be more, do more. Just thank you for loving us so much. That you give us the Sabbath, that you give us a time to rest, a time that we can just inhale and exhale. So I love you, but he loves you best. And I'll be back soon to talk more. If you've been missing the videos, you can go back and start from the beginning and catch up 1 through 21. And if you're watching this video after tonight, there's 2 lives for you, so you can even go back and catch those. If you have questions or things you want to talk about, what stood out the most to you, what you like the most, if you want to leave any of that in this, comment in this video if you're not going to be live, I can read it during a live. So peace and blessings.